This is gritty. This is real. This is our space. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative. Welcome back to Confessions of a Creative. My name is Dee, and this is where we discuss the unique journey of creative entrepreneurs. So please like, share, and subscribe if this channel resonates with you. Okay, so before we start, let me just issue a disclaimer. You may hear some birds chirping. You may hear my neighbor's dog. I don't have a studio, so to speak, set up, so there's no soundproofing. And quite frankly, I cannot close my windows because I live in the tropics. It's super hot. Like, it's a whole thing. But I really want to get this content out there. So let's just go on. And I hope it's not too distracting for you. So in today's episode, we're talking about growth and moving on. When is it the right time to move on? How do you know? Well, I can't tell you when the exact right time will be for you, but I can tell you what my experience felt like. Many creatives the world over, we have our secular jobs that support, our daily life. And then we've got our side hustles, passion projects, creative outlets, whatever you want to call it. And we work these two things simultaneously, some of us with the goal of eventually growing our artistry or our side hustle into a career. Now, I've been doing this juggling act for many years, working and juggling my creative endeavors, studying and also juggling my creative endeavors, but we're looking at work. So there was a period in time where I started to feel super stressed out with my secular job and the demands of my now business, which was my then creative outlet. They started to clash a little too much and they became too much to handle all at once. But my business wasn't quite at the point where I could hire somebody else to do the job while I work in my secular job. So I knew deep inside I needed to forsake my seeming security in my secular job. And that was quite comforting, by the way, to have that security blanket. But I knew deep inside that something had to give. And these two paths were pulling me in completely opposite directions. So much so that one day it became very unbearable and I knew I had to choose. Like, I felt like I was physically suffocating. So, of course, I chose my passion. Now, I've talked to many creatives and some have stayed in this comfortable yet uncomfortable place for years due to the fact that they're looking at that security blanket. And I don't use that word seeming flippantly at all. Guys, you could be fired tomorrow. You could be doing a much better job at juggling both than I did. But then what happens? A freaking global pandemic shuts it all down and you're still out of secular work. I'm not making light of this by any chance. It's an extremely serious thing. But the question has to be answered. Like, what are you left with? When everything is stripped away, what are you left with? Your talent and your craft. So I made the choice to pursue my artistry full time. In that space of time, my business developed. I was coming up with ideas left and right, creating more avenues for that same company, collaborating with others. I was in that state of flow we mentioned a few videos back, where inspiration was just coming left and right and I was making the most of it. I was exactly where I was supposed to be, doing what I love, operating with so much joy and no fear. My mind was now free to fully embrace the path I chose. I no longer had to give energy to another avenue that ultimately would not serve me in the way that pursuing my art would have and has. So much in the way a gardener trims dead leaves off plants so they can grow and flourish, choosing your art when the time is right trims away the distractions. It allows you to fully immerse in your art and flourish. I'm not saying by any means that this is not scary. It is. But that is what growth is about. That's what life is about. I'm sure we've all heard that quote. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And I can stand here today and tell you that is true. I have experienced it. I have felt it. Now, let me be the one to tell you, you can do this. It would be a grave disservice to yourself not to. You must plan, you must be strategic, but at some point, you should choose your craft. This topic will definitely be one we revisit with a special guest at some point. Remember, guys, I am sending you so much love right now. Talk soon. This is gritty. This is real. This is our space. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative. Confessions of a creative.